Hello, my name is Brittany and welcome to Family Fridays Paint Night. A few words before we begin. Thank you for your continued interest and support for this workshop. You can expect a new video every third Friday of the month for the foreseeable future until we can resume classes in person at the Art and Spirituality Center. Speaking of which, there are other classes being held virtually if you are interested in taking any of those. I'll leave the link to our virtual calendar in the description box below. As a reminder, my class was made to promote bonding between family and friends. You do not need to be an artist to enjoy art. My art isn't perfect, so don't think yours needs to be either. To all those participating in this activity, I want you to try your best and don't worry about the outcome. My hope is for you to let go, get lost in the artistic process, and forget about what's currently happening in the world, even just for a little bit. One last thing before we begin. Feel free to pause, rewind, fast forward, mute, or do anything you need in order to follow along with this video. I normally take over 3 hours to complete a painting, even though my class runs about 2.5 hours. For the sake of time and to make a short video, the clips you see of me painting are sped up significantly. Please, by all means, relax and take your time. I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. Here is what we will be painting for April of 2021. Disclaimer, this is not my original artwork as I found it somewhere on the internet. I do not take credit for this concept and I wish I could find the original artist to give credit. Think of this as a study of the original artwork. As the saying goes, April showers bring May flowers. Here we have a rainy day in April and an umbrella trying to shelter some of the beautiful flowers that have bloomed as a result. Feel free to take artistic control, change the colors, make additions or adjustments, or change it up completely. The choice is yours. Alright, let's talk about paint. We'll be using acrylic paint for this activity. You can use the fancier, more expensive paints if you want to. For this project, I'll be using paints you can find at your local craft store or even Walmart that are less than $1. We'll need a few colors: pink, orange, yellow, green, blue, sky blue, white, black, and brown. We'll need a few brushes today: a large flat brush, a medium flat brush, a small round brush, and a thin detail brush. Optional materials: a pencil to sketch out our drawing. Some other materials we will need: something to put under the canvas or canvas board, such as a tablecloth or newspaper. You can also use a mat board like this one I've used several times. Of course, you'll need something to paint on. I personally will be using a canvas board, 12 by 16 specifically. You can use an actual canvas of any size too. Then we have our paints. You'll need a plate to put the paint on. You can also use a palette if you have one. A water cup to clean your paintbrushes. And lastly, a paper towel or an old towel. I actually have a new towel here that I will be using for the remainder of 2021. Okay, order of operations, how this painting will go. First, we will start in the background, starting from a blue, going into white, and then our sky blue. Next, we will work on the umbrella, starting about 1.5 inches from the top. Our umbrella will be at a slight angle, so we will draw a nice half circle. And then from that center point, we're kind of going to make a little wishbone shape. And then from there, we will connect all of our edges. And then following that same mounded shape, the underside of the umbrella. And then next, we will draw the handle of the umbrella. After that, we will paint the umbrella, the top and the underside. Next, with different shades of green and brown, we will paint the stems of the flowers as well as the leaves. Then we will paint all of the flowers, the petals, and the inside. Then we will paint the handle of the umbrella. Next, we will paint the big water droplets. And lastly, with the end of one of our paintbrushes, a blue and a white for the small sprinkles. First, we will start off by pouring out our paints. I will get just a regular blue, whichever that you have, and white and sky blue. With my large flat brush, I'm first going to start off with my darkest blue that I have, again, which is just a regular blue, Right here you'll see me painting the edges or the corners. That's just something personally that I like to do. But overall, I'm just going to make this shape kind of like of a rainbow, just rounded at the top, starting from that dark blue, going into white, and then the sky blue. Feel free to change the colors at all, but this is just how I wanted my sky to look. And in between, you'll see me dipping a lot into the white just to give it a little bit more dimension. Okay, off camera, I already went ahead and drew the umbrella, but I'm going to go ahead and do it with you. So again, starting from about 1.5 inches, I'm going to draw a nice little half circle. That first edge, it's probably going to end about the third of the page. And then this corner where I'm about to stop is a little less than halfway of the canvas. So a nice little half circle right there. And then from the middle, I'm going to go ahead and do like a little wishbone shape, kind of just a curved line. And then from those points, I'm going to connect them, but make it a little bit of a rainbow shape, another little curved line. And then from underneath, I'm going to just basically follow that same shape, and that will be the underside of the umbrella. Then a little top part, and then this is basically just going to be a nice little J shape. So the thickness of the umbrella is probably about 1 inch. That's how wide the handle is, and then that nice little J right there coming off of the page. Next, I am going to make the color of the umbrella, which is basically like a salmon color. So I'm going to get some orange, yellow, and pink and white and just mix it until I like it. You can do different colors of the combination of the umbrella with the flowers. It is completely up to you. And then I am going to mix up the underside of the umbrella as well, which is orange and brown. And then just for little accents and highlights, I'm going to have some pink and orange on standby. So I'm just going to mix that up. Okay, with my medium flat brush, I am going to dip into that brown color that we just made. So I'm going to do the underside of the umbrella. You can do the top part of the umbrella first if you want to. I'm actually going to do this layer, then the top layer, and then go back to this just for touch-ups. But this first layer, I'm just going to do this light brown color. While it's still a little wet, I'm going to go ahead and get some dark brown and just darken up the edges and the corners. This is just so it looks like we are under the umbrella, so it's casting a little bit of a shadow. Okay, I went ahead and I let that dry. So I'm going to go in with that salmon color I just made and just go and trace out the shape of the umbrella. I'm going to first just color all of this, that solid salmon color that we made. Once I start to get to blending, I'm going to go ahead and dip into that hot pink, and that's going to be placed more so on the left side of all of these little panels, and then towards the right side I'm going to add in a little bit of white. This is just to help with the illusion that it's kind of like a bubble circular shape of the umbrella. So the pink will be the shadow and the white will be the highlight. I'm going to repeat this concept for the following two panels, so just take your time. I think out of everything that we will be doing for this painting, this is what's going to take up the most time. So have fun, relax, and enjoy the music. I will check back in when we are ready to do the underside of the umbrella once again. Okay, so the underside of the umbrella is pretty much done, but I do need to clean up from the top part of what went overboard with the salmon color. So I'm going to go ahead and get my dark brown and just carve out and clean up these lines. And this is good that we're using the dark brown because now it looks like there's more of a shadow that is cast underneath the umbrella. So that's basically what I'm going to do here. Dark on the outsides and then the lighter color on the inside. So you'll see me just getting in with some more of that light color that we used and just blending it in together. Right here, I'm just checking to see if everything is dry so that I don't go ahead and mess it up. But I am going to outline some of these edges of our umbrella just because I didn't quite make it all the way to cover up the black Sharpie that I originally drew in. So again, with the left side of these panels, I'm going to go ahead and dip in with that hot pink color, which is just a darker pink for me. And then towards the right side, if I need to, I will go ahead and dip in with the white. I'm doing the same thing to the underside of the umbrella that I did to the top, which is just outlining and carving out some of the little mistakes that I made. So with this underside, I'm actually going to dip in with black and outline everything, and if it's a little too black, I'm going to cover it up with that brown that we originally used. So I'm just going to do that. If you don't need to do this part, you can go ahead and skip ahead. then for this top part, I'm just going to do the tiniest little flattened circle and then a little pointy part right on the top. Okay, now we're going to start working on the flowers. So with my green that I have, I am going to pour out green, white, and yellow because I don't have it. And with my small round brush, I'm just going to make some stems, some going towards the upper right corner, some going towards the upper left corner, crisscrossing, whichever you want. There's no rhyme or reason to it. If you want to add one, more than one, none at all, that is completely up to you. But right now, this is what we're doing. Now we're going to go ahead and add in the leaves. This is just my usual normal shape of leaf that I do, which is a little bit more narrow at the top and more bulbous towards the bottom, and then kind of curved at the top as well. So first I'm going to go in with my regular green and then just kind of play with it and have fun, mix in some yellows, mix in some browns and whites, just to get it in a way that I like it. So go ahead and do that. You can add one leaf, two leaves, no leaves. It is completely up to you. So once these are dry, make sure they're dry before going on. I am going to pour out some fresh white and first make our basic flower shape. I'm just basically going to do the standard 5 petals to a flower and call it a day. You can do whatever flowers you want, your favorite flowers, using different colors. It is completely up to you. But first I'm going to do a nice generous layer of white, and then while it's still kind of wet, I'm going to do another layer of yellow, and then when that is still wet as well, I'm going to go in with my orange and just basically follow that same shape of flower. And I really like how this looks just because it gives it a little bit of dimension of the petals and just a nice little wild flower. I love it. I'm curious though, if you do decide to change up the color combination with the umbrella and the flowers, feel free to tag us on Instagram or Facebook if you have any of those. We would love to see it and post your artwork on our pages. Okay, before moving on, please make sure that your flowers are dry. If it helps, pro tip, if you have a hair dryer, use that. I use that on my paintings all the time. But with my small detail brush, I'm going to go ahead and get in with a green color and just make some little lines of the insides of the flowers just to give it a little bit more dimension and the illusion of a flower. And then with the underside of my brush, I'm going to go ahead and dip in with some black and just make little tiny dots for the center of the flowers once again. We are very close to finishing up, but right now we're going to work on the handle. So I'm just going to make my handle as straight as possible, following the lines that I already made. First, I'm going to paint it all black. that long part of the handle and that little curved part right there. And then to give it the illusion that it's metal, that it's round and has a little shiny part on it, I will dip in with white and just go back and forth, more so towards the center of the handle, just again to give it that illusion that what we're holding is something round. And again, with the underside of my paintbrush, I'm going to dip in with some black, and all of these little corners where the panels meet, I'm going to make little dots. Okay, now we are going to work on the bigger water droplets. So I have about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll be making about 6 drops, just spread out however you want. Basically going to be the same shape that I made towards the leaves a little bit, which is a little more narrow on top and then more bulbous towards the bottom. First, I'm going to paint it white, and then while it's still wet, I'm going to dip in with my dark blue and just blend it together. More dark on one side and lighter on the other side. Now, the very last step, with the end of one of our paintbrushes, I'm going to dip in with that original blue that we had and just make tiny little dots, and this is to serve as even tinier sprinkles than our bigger droplets. And then towards the bottom where we have more of our sky blue, I'll do the exact same thing but with white. And that is it, my friends. Good job if you made it this far and completed the painting. I'm happy with my finished product, and I hope you are with yours too. If your painting looks different from mine, that is totally fine. As you know, I miss everyone, and I really wish I were with my Family Friday class painting alongside them. I'm also happy to know that more people have had the chance and opportunity to do art safely at home and on their own time. I hope these videos bring you joy and you were able to relax and not worry about the current events of the world, even just for a little bit. Please stay safe, have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you next time.